Lights, camera,
Rolling.
action.
Welcome to my podcast, Let's Talk About Verticals, a place where secrets are spilled, stories unfold, and the mysterious world of verticals is revealed in all its glory. Behind the scenes, oh yes. Exclusive insights, absolutely. Eccentric characters, you bet. So pull up a chair, pour yourself something suspiciously strong, and prepare for a conversation you didn't know you needed. So welcome to the podcast Let's Talk About Verticals. And now, let's talk. Hello and welcome to my podcast Let's Talk About Verticals. Today I'm having an actor. I think he started nearly at the same time as I started watching because he had already done over 50 verticals. So he's kind of an old vertical man, I would say. Not in normal age, but in the vertical age. And I'm very happy to have him. And I'm saying hello to Cyle Kolton. Welcome to my podcast, Cyle. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me, Michaela.
First question, when did you start? I started watching Vertical in September 2023.
Okay, it was the fall of 23. I don't know what month it was, but yeah, it was around that time. And I think my first one that I did, it was a werewolf one. I forgot the name, but Eric Gilmet was the lead. I remember that. He was my first lead.
Was it The Unwanted Maid?
Something. Olivia Pullman was his leading lady. And
do you know who was the director?
it was a man. I forgot his name. He doesn't do them anymore. But I know that Kiki Fragnoli was in it too.
Oh, Kiki Frags. Does he started Kiki so early, really? Huh.
I actually met Kiki in China. But he goes by, I knew him as Cyle as well. So
yeah, Cyle and Cyle.
Mhm.
So the first one was a werewolf one. Okay, then I have two questions. Did you know what a vertical was when you shot it? And second one, was it kind of weird with all this werewolf alpha mate stuff?
It was a little strange. And yeah, I mean, I think when I first saw the breakdowns, they were called mobisodes. And I thought, what's a mobisode? And now it's easier when they just call them vertical short form on the breakdowns that we see on Actors Access. It was a mobisode or something like that. I thought, what's a mobisode? But I was okay with the subject matter because I like kind of fantasy, vampires and werewolves. But I mean, the writing was a little odd. And then I thought, oh, did they directly translate it from Chinese? Maybe I didn't really think about the whole AI element of it. Maybe they're writing with AI. But I think I had to get used to more fast they shoot them. Because I'm used to horizontal feature films, like the independent film space. You can take your time a little bit. This is 15 pages a day, and it's in the beginning. I don't even know if we had multiple cameras. I think we were shooting with one camera, so it took even longer to do it. But now the sets that we're used to being on, there's at least a couple cameras, so it can shoot that fast. You get cross coverage, or at the very least, you can get a close up while you're getting the Y, that kind of thing, and so it moves faster. But one camera, it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, so the first one you did was not so paced like the other ones?
It was fast, but I think that director, I can't remember his name right now. I think it was new for him as well. So from what I remember on that set, maybe it's because he didn't speak Chinese either. He was an American. They had an iPad on set, so the client was kind of backseat directing while he was doing it. So it's like he would think, oh, shouldn't we shoot it this way? And there's like, oh no, like be more probably to give more energy to the slap or to the torture or to so he probably wasn't sure what they were going for at first, because I'm sure he watched the Korean soap operas, how they were doing it over there. But to do it here, I'm sure it was all new for everybody.
Do you know for which platform the first one was?
I want to say Drama Box, maybe Real Short. It was one of those two.
Yeah, so one of the big ones. because when I started watching verticals, there were only the big ones. Good Short, Drama Box, Real Short. Not so many platforms
That's
back
a big
then.
change. Yeah, when I started, it was Real Short, Drama Box, and Serial Plus, which has since
Oh
become
yes,
Flare
yeah.
Flow.
Serial Plus, yeah, and Shortmax. Shortmax was also really early, and Shortmax was the first one with a lot of werewolf stuff. To be honest, when I started watching verticals, I kind of avoided the werewolf and vampire ones because for me it was kind of too fantasy style to get the storyline with all this faded mate and alpha and whatever. That was kind of weirdo for me. But I think werewolf ones did very well from the beginning because people like the kind of fantasy stuff.
But from an acting standpoint, if the script's going to be absurd anyway, I might as well lean into fantasy and over the top. And oh, there's a Luna and a battle for the Alphadom and all that. It's I can lean into the absurdity more with that. Plus, there tend to be more fight sequences, which I like stage combat. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm a black belt in Nishimura karate, so I like stage combat and fight choreography. But I mean, more of the ones that I've done recently have been the CEO billionaire ones. To me, that's less realistic because the monetary amounts are just absurd. Like I did one
Yeah.
where we were playing poker and it was one hand, $10 billion on one hand of poker. Who's gonna do? And I'm thinking, did they write this with yen in mind? Because that makes more sense. And then they just
Yeah.
didn't think like, oh, in US dollars, this isn't going to translate well.
Makes sense. $10 billion.
On one hand of poker. Yeah.
Did
Just
you win?
I was the bad guy, so I lost, but it's like
Oh.
that takes me out of it more than a Luna moon goddess and all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
that's true. Okay, that's true. That's true. How long did you take until you did your second one? Did you have
Um
a few time between the first two and overthinking if you are happy with shooting in that way or kind of not so good in the shooting way?
I've never looked at how long it took me between the first one and the second one. I think the second one was also a werewolf one, but I was day playing on that. But I think I just looked at it as I came out here to be an actor and get paid to act. And
Mm,
even if it's absurd and unrealistic, these scripts, my job is to ground it in some sort of reality. And I came out here to be a working actor. And to me, that's making a living, paying my bills, acting. So if it's a little bit absurd, I look at them the way that people probably used to look at the legacy soap operas. There used to be
mm.
a time where, oh, those are just Guiding Light, General Hospital, all that stuff. Those used to be looked down upon as oh, that's just soap acting, or oh, that's just TV acting. It's over the top. It pays the bills, gets
Yeah,
you a
makes
mansion or
sense.
a
Yeah.
Rolls Royce or whatever you need to. Not that I'm into it for that, but pays the bills and gets you out there. And that's the way I look at it. I came out here to be paid to act, and that's all I do. I don't have side jobs. I don't wait tables or cater anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I look at it as a blessing.
So when was your first time you went to China for a vertical?
I've actually never gone for a vertical. I went to
Never?
China for
Okay.
a horizontal feature at the beginning
Okay.
of 2020, and we were supposed to be there for 4 months. It was a military Korean War film, so we were supposed to train for 1 month and film for four. And then 2 weeks into military training, they shut the whole thing down because of the pandemic. But it is interesting that I got my Chinese visa because of that situation. So every time I pitch myself for a vertical in China, I always say I already have the visa, so you don't even have to get it. I have it till 2030 somehow, so
Oh,
to the end of the decade I can go. But I also met some pretty heavy vertical actors there. Kiki Fragnoli I met there. Dallas Schaefer I met in China.
yeah.
I think there's been a few others that were in China as well.
There were also 2020 in China, or where did you met Kiki? You
Oh,
met
in
him
China
in
on that project.
weird. Okay. That's weird. But have you ever shot a vertical outside of LA? Somewhere
No, but I
else?
would love to. I've shot a lot of horizontals in other parts of the country. I lived in Atlanta for a year and a half, so I shot things in Atlanta. I'd love to shoot things in New York. I shot a movie in Texas, but I would love to go to Turkey or Ukraine, or they're shooting them in Paris now. I think Roberta Sparta was doing one in Italy as
Yeah,
well. I'd love to
Roberta
go to
was in
Canada.
Italy and a lot in Great Britain. and Lithuania. And I saw 2 days ago the first casting call for Germany.
Anyone who's listening, I'll go to any of those places. I think I have the passport. I'll go to any of those places.
What about Ukraine? I did an episode with Bianca. She runs the Ukrainian actors and actors fandom here. And she speaks a lot with Amo Pictures, the production company in the Ukraine. And she told me lately some actors are kind of hesitating because of the war and stuff like that. But I knew a lot of actors who shot lately in Kiev, and they were all totally happy with the atmosphere. And in my opinion, they are producing really great verticals. Have you ever watched a Ukrainian vertical?
I have not, but if Bianca is looking for actors that aren't hesitant, you found your guy. There you go.
Okay, I will tell her. No, because she's doing also some interviews and stuff, mostly with the Ukrainian actors, but also with the English-speaking actors who wants to join verticals in the Ukraine. So I will give her a short notice that she should contact you because of that. No, because I think, here in Europe, the European market in verticals is not so big at the moment. There is, in my opinion, there is for 2026 a lot of potential here. As I said, they are started lately shooting in Italy. Dan Löwenstein also shot a vertical in Italy. Roberta shot a vertical in Italy. And I think Italy will become more and more popular for shootings. And also the shooting locations in Istanbul. There shot so many in Istanbul this year. Oh, holy moly. And I think they nearly flew all the Americans over. I had the
I'm happy
feeling.
to join them.
Yeah, I think that's a great experience to shoot somewhere else. For example, also in Vancouver, they are shooting lately a lot. So maybe 2026, what are your goals?
Yeah, I would love to go up to Vancouver. That's on our side of the country. I'm in LA, so that's on our side of the continent. And I actually was in contact with an agency that was asking about. I think they were looking for more vertical actors, and I think there was an issue with like, oh, if you're SAG and these are non-union, that kind of thing. And said, oh, but there's an agreement, and I guess they haven't really taken off yet, even though there is an agreement in place. So maybe in 2026, those will pick up.
You shot more than 50 verticals. What has changed since the first one to the last one? In the shooting
Definitely
stuff?
Well, I would say the crew are very efficient. They were in the beginning, but there was a little bit of hesitancy in the beginning. Now that thousands upon thousands have been done, probably tens of thousands have been done at this point, the crews have been like clockwork. I never have to think about, does the crew know what they're doing? The first couple that I did, the acting wasn't there. It was they would go for models over actors and influencers over actors, and
Oh,
they
holy
run into the
shit.
issue.
That's the same problem here in Germany. I saw the casting calls 2 days ago. They only want to have influencers with a big range in followers.
Yeah, and I think I can't speak for all of the fans, but I think the fans have been probably voicing their concerns of, can we also get good acting, not just pretty? And I compare it to Hallmark or Lifetime casting. They want pretty over good a lot of the time. And so that's changed probably in the last 2 years that I've been working on them. The acting has gotten better. And the scripts, I mean, the plots are still absurd and over the top, but maybe because the acting has gotten better, they've been more grounded, or the way they filmed them have been more cinematic, so they've been more palatable. They've also given women more agency, I feel. I mean, unfortunately, there's still the what I call torture porn aspect of a lot of these, of hurting pregnant women and like having them get on their knees on glass and things like that. Those are still there, the damsel in distress, and oh, a man has to come in and save her. But then I've also seen an influx of female characters having more agency over their own life and them being the lead. So I'm happy when I see those because that's growing. And I think I was actually part of the first homosexual vertical, My Secret Agent Husband. I don't know if that was the first, but I felt like that was a big gamble for them at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a little bit more repressed in China, so that was like a big deal, and it was really popular, and it actually got a sequel. One of the very few verticals to get a sequel.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are lately a lot of gay verticals, but I'm missing a lesbian one, to be honest. You know, there were so many with gay persons in it, but I saw never a lesbian one
The only
until
one I've
now.
heard of so far was that one, was it Blood and something, the one that Gilmet produced in Mexico
Love and
City, and
Blood,
Kira
Love and Blood.
Wisely was in it, and they had a lesbian. I think it was like a subplot, but there was a
Yeah,
lesbian.
yeah, that was Love and Blood. But as lately there were, for example, Pool Boy with Declan Clifford on Real Short and stuff like that. There were so many gay verticals with two male leads. I'm
I
still
wonder,
waiting for a woman version of
I
that.
wonder if there's still a little bit of a misogynistic element because it came out of China and their culture is a little bit more misogynistic. So I would think, I mean, I'm not Chinese. I haven't lived there, didn't grow up, but I've heard that even just two men, that was pushing the envelope. And now
Mhm.
it feels like if they are making more, it's purely from a financial standpoint. Oh, they're doing well, so now we'll do it. But it still has to be male centric because it's misogynistic.
Makes sense. Yeah, and I think sometimes I spoke lately with Mark Pontarelli, and we spoke about comedy verticals, that they should come more. And I also did a recording with the post-production team for Viglu in Vietnam. And one of them told me that she's watching all the Chinese verticals to see what's getting there popular and what's getting maybe over to the US for new verticals. And she told me that they are shooting lately a lot of comedy one, but I'm not sure if Chinese humor will fit to the Western humor. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If they will work.
Some things don't translate. Even it's not even vertical, like vertical or horizontal. I saw Fackham Hall recently with my manager. He was excited to see it. The British humor, some of it didn't land because it's still a
Hmm.
cultural
Yeah, I
difference. I
think.
would think the same goes in verticals.
Yeah, maybe because the typical CEO billionaire stuff story you can translate and it works. I think in both cultures. But if it's about humor, I see it a bit different because, as you said, it even is different from the European humor to the US humor already. And then I'm not sure if those scripts, if they are doing well in China, will also fit for the Western market. I'm not sure about that.
It depends. I mean, I think of Parasite. There were comedic moments in Parasite that still landed on a global scale. So it depends
Yeah,
on how it's written
yeah, that's true. That's true.
and how it's shown because Parasite was very visual. A lot of the jokes were more visual than in the dialogue.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and I think that's good that a lot of actors started writing their own scripts so that the script writing started also in the Western part for the Western countries. So I think then there's a good chance that it fits better than also the overshipped script from China. Maybe, maybe.
I mean, I don't know behind the scenes. I don't know if they're AI or I would hope at least the last version of the script a human goes over it. I would hope, but
I spoke also to script supervisor and stuff. I heard that they sometimes are getting scripts really AI translated where the sentence doesn't make any sense. And
Oh yeah,
sometimes
that'll
the
happen.
client insists that the actors are saying exactly the sentence like it is in the script.
Yeah, luckily, only twice have I been stopped. Like, could you say it exactly this way? Or, and even so, it's usually not. Could you say the line exactly this way? It's I think they wanted me to improv less, even though I was playing an Elvis impersonator. I don't know how you rein that character in, but it was like a wedding. It was like they're drunk and they're getting married in Vegas, and I
Okay.
was an Elvis impersonator. It's like you want to rein that character in, okay? But
Elvis. Did you play so far all genre? Mafia ones, also vampire ones?
I've done more werewolf than vampire, but I've done vampire probably a couple times. I've done mafia. I've done more CEO stuff recently. I've been what I call the useless assistant a handful of times.
The
But,
useless
he's always
assistant.
useless. It's always like, oh, you're supposed to protect someone and they fall right in front of you, and she's pregnant, and I also brought 5 guards with me, but none of us can protect her. Or I'm supposed to be guarding the mafia guy and he gets shot right in front of me. They're always useless.
And more villain or more good guys?
I've played more villains. I don't know if it's just the darker features or I just look like a villain more, but I consider myself like a Gary Oldman of the Verticals. I try to be as versatile as I can. And Gary Oldman played villains for a long time before he got to play the good guy.
Yeah, but I was told, and I'm asking you this, doesn't make Millen more fun to play?
Oh, they're written much more richly than the like. 'Cause I've been on sets. My favorite vertical I ever worked on was on Short Max. Actually, it was Alpha's Revenge, the Wolf King and his human Luna. I think that was one of Michael Allen's first starring roles in it, and he was upset with that one because he wanted it to. He saw how much fun I was having because I was the main villain, the
Hmm.
rogue wolf. I was having all this fun, and they were letting me do whatever I want, pretty much, be over the top and ridiculous. And then they were telling him, less, 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 don't show emotion. Oh, the love of my life is dying right on the ground, but don't show emotion. They were telling him, less, less, it doesn't affect you. This is the love of my life. This is my Luna, but it doesn't affect you. Or you're in a physical battle with the rogue wolf and he punches you. Nothing like doesn't affect you at all. And he was saying, I want to give it more flavor, but they're telling me to play it flat. And so, in a way, I'm grateful that I've only really gotten to play villains. The only time I've gotten to play good guys really is when I'm the beta to the alpha.
Then you have to be nice as the beta.
Well, usually the beta useless assistant is the one that's supposed to be like killing someone on their behalf if it's a mafia thing
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
dirty work for them.
What would be a really challenging role for you to play in a vertical?
Really challenge. I mean, it would be challenging for me if I was in that position. They were saying, do like don't do anything, like just keep it like the whole time. I mean, I can play under, I can play with nothing, but I still try to have emotion behind the eyes. That's acting to me. But I mean, when we first started, and it was, oh no, we want pretty model and influencers. Oh, okay, yeah, they can just say the lines with nothing. Okay, that makes sense. Like just say the words if that's what you want. But I think it'd be tough for me because I think I started in theater. So that's why I always say the good thing about these verticals is that for any newer actor that's just starting out, they want theatrical and big reactions and over the top. So if you started in theater, this is a good stomping ground to start because they want big reactions and oh my god, like they want these bigger things. So I started in theater, so if they wanted me to just do nothing at all, I think that would be tough for me to keep it together. I would love to do more um, like romantic leads, but I tend to play the cad.
Hmm. Maybe you have to color your hair blonde. Maybe then
I
you
would
would
love for
look
them to dye my hair
nicer.
blonde.
I don't know. Just kidding. Yeah, I spoke as a black hair person. You always seem to be a bad one.
But then again, you've got people like Sarah Molinsky, who's blonde, always playing the villain. So
Okay, that's true. And then she got the first lead role as a good one, and she totally nailed it. I was so fascinated how well she played that one. I didn't know that she can play so good a good one.
Well, I've played good guys in horizontals. I'm pretty sure I can do it just because the flight frame is flipped. I can do a good guy as well if they give me the chance.
Yeah, okay. I think you although you have done already more than 50, your goal is minimum I think 100, so you have a lot of verticals left
Mhm.
to be a good one, maybe. And maybe the scripts will improve a bit with less kidnapping, raping, violation stuff and more, for example, comedy ones. And so hopefully I'm hoping this extremely as an audience because yeah, there are too many. When I think you thinking the same about that. When I started watching Verticals, there was not so many violation in the storylines than it has been lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, the first couple that I did, that very first werewolf one that I did, there was kind of a kidnapping, but I don't remember as many slaps. Then again, I wasn't there every day. I was a day player on that
Yeah,
one. So
yeah.
maybe there were when I wasn't there, but
No, there haven't been so many, as you said, slaps, raping, kidnapping, not so many miscarriages because of any violation on the woman or abusement or stuff like that. And the stories also went well. So I don't understand why lately the storylines has always, for example, I'm doing a monthly review episode every month with the big ladies, the review ladies, and Aline from I Love Verticals told me lately for her a no-go is if in the, what did she say? First 10 episodes, no, in the first 5 episodes are more than 5 slaps or stuff like that, she turns the vertical off. And lately she has to turn off a lot of verticals because of that. It's so ridiculous how many slaps and stuff like that are happening lately in verticals.
I think that's where the push and pull comes from. I think a lot of actors, we just want to come from an artistic place and what feels like a good story. Whereas the people on the other side, whether they're writing or the people that are behind the scenes, they're coming from an analytic standpoint of, like you said, there must be at least 5 slaps or people are going to move on, or we're going where the algorithm is going. It's like, where's the creativity then?
Yeah, that's totally gone. It's also gone when lately. Did you ever a sports vertical, which dropped so many lately, or a cooking vertical?
I haven't done I've auditioned for a cooking one. I can't really, I feel like the sports ones, I auditioned for a baseball one recently, like a Major League Baseball one. I can't do the high school football ones because I'm too old, and then I can't do the pro NFL because I'm not big enough. They want a guy that's like 6'3", gigantic because they
Then
have to,
maybe the trainer part.
or the coach. I've auditioned for the coach, and
Yeah,
that was the
hockey
mean
coach.
coach.
Mean. Already the mean? No, maybe the hockey coach, stuff like that. No, because all the sports ones, the storyline is nearly the same. The only thing what changes is the sport. Hockey, tennis, fencing, football,
I did play
basketball.
tennis. I played tennis in one, actually. If you saw, I think it was after divorce, I entered my cougar era. I played tennis in that one.
Oh, I'm so bad in the title. Sorry for that. Because I watched till now, I think more than 1,500 verticals.
Okay, that was on Good Short, I believe, and Teague was the lead, and Kate Krieger was the female lead, and she had never done this
Oh,
before. She was
yeah.
great.
Then I saw this one. I
Yeah,
saw
I
this
played
one.
tennis badly.
What what would fit for you? What sports can you do, or can you cook? Because sometimes it's so silly. The ones are doing a cooking vertical, sometimes they don't even know how to use a knife. And you see that in the vertical.
I'm not a great cook. I actually did a horizontal short recently where I was supposed to be a sous chef at a fancy restaurant. So I asked the director, I said, how are we going to fake that? I'm nowhere near an expert, which I would assume a sous chef is an expert cook. So they had to like fake it, and they showed me how to cut properly. And we
Okay.
also got someone that worked at the restaurant to do extreme close-ups on it. So,
Yeah, okay, okay. But then it's fine. But sometimes you see exactly that's not working what they are doing.
I think that's what's a little heartbreaking about working on so many of these is there's this because they're so quick, because the timeline of getting it done is so quick, they like don't have time to finesse things like that. They're like, well, we don't have time. Just do it and we'll fix it in post. So they
Hmm.
always say because
Yeah.
it's like a conveyor belt, and it's no different than when I did work. I was like background on a legacy soap, Guiding Light or one of those things. It's the same thing. Even if the leads messed up the lines, they thought we don't have time. You messed it up. That's the take we're going to use. We have to keep going. Whereas in a film, you can take time and get it right. And with these, it's like television timing. We don't have time. You maybe get a couple takes and we have to move on.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you come from theater. Do you miss sometimes the direct feedback from the audience and this
Um,
atmosphere and in theater you're maybe playing every evening the same, but not the evenings are not the same in the atmosphere because of the audience.
oh, I mean, it would be nice to do theater again. In LA, it's not as lucrative financially to do theater here. There's people there saying, "Oh, here's $100 for the run of the whole show." It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Maybe
Really?
someone will, but
Where
obviously, because they
is
keep
where is
posting.
it good for theater? New York?
Probably New York is better. New York or Chicago, probably
Okay.
in America. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there are good theaters in LA, but they're very like the Pantages or the Geffen Theater, very
Mhm.
high equity union, very well paying, and you
Okay.
need an agent for that kind of stuff. But I mean, even in the verticals, I get a little bit of that where you're talking about that rush of you are still performing in front of 20 people and then the crew. And I still get that high of when I do something in a take that people weren't expecting and they don't applaud afterwards, but I feel like,
Hmm.
whoa, that was a good take and they like it. And it's so you're still performing in front of 20 people, maybe not 200 people, but
Yeah. So, what keeps you so addicted to do verticals?
what keeps me so addicted to it?
Yes.
I mean,
What do you
there is
like on?
something
Okay, they're paying the bills. Okay, that's the one side. But what do you like on verticals shooting?
I like that I can go wild with them and I can be ridiculous. And I think because they know that the scripts aren't Shakespeare, they let us change dialogue all the time. And
Okay.
I love it. I mean, if you're a good improver and you're a good writer as an actor, they're almost 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, whoa, that's better than what's written. Yeah, stick with that. So I like that freedom and that respect that I get from it because if you go on a television set for a huge like CBS, NBC, ABC show, they're going to say, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You didn't say the," and it's like they're going to be
Really?
very strict. The higher up you go, the WGA gets involved and like, "Oh, Emmy-winning writers wrote that, so you can't change it unless you're a series
Okay.
regular." So I love that on these lower budget projects, they say, "Yeah, change it to what you feel better. It makes the character better. We can tell that you feel looser with it. It comes out more naturally." I mean, I talk about Aaron Sorkin, great movies and great scripts. He's a phenomenal script writer, but I think that would put me on edge. Being in an environment where, oh, you missed a comma, we're gonna have to get somebody else who won't miss that comma. And it's like, yes, there are actors that can do that. Like when I watched, I don't know if you watched The Newsroom with Jeff Daniels when it was on.
Mm-mm.
Everything was so robotic. It was they just rattled off these numbers. Even the intern that worked there was a genius that went to Yale or something. It's like they just rattled off all this. And it's yeah, that's a style of acting that's probably closer to Shakespeare because you have to be word perfect. And there's so many different types of actors. I like verticals because they're very loose and they
Hmm.
let us change dialogue unless it's something very specific. If the necklace is sapphire, you can't say it's ruby, but
Yes,
like that's very
okay.
specific. But like if you're, I think I had this one where I was a billionaire uncle that was looking for his niece, like because my
Mhm.
brother died and that was his last dying wishes for me to find my niece. There was a
Okay.
line that said, "She looks guilty AF." And I thought, I'm a 40-year-old billionaire adult. I'm not going to say AF. So I changed it to "She's so guilty." And no one had a problem with that at all. But
Okay.
I think that's where AI comes into play as well. Oh, the kids will like this. This character would not say that.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's silly when you have scripts and the actors plays a lawyer in the vertical one, and then they are spelling a sentence which doesn't make any sense. And you thought, really? And that should be a high educated lawyer, but cannot get a sentence straight right? No.
I think
But
those are
then,
the actors that are newer that think, oh, I have to stay word perfect. You don't,
yeah,
which is very
yeah,
free.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but then it's a, okay, and that's a lawyer. Really? No, really not. So,
That is a problem I do have with these. The general that's 22 years old, thank you very much. The military general that's 20. The CEO that's 21 years old.
yeah. I have also a problem with 10-year-old child, and the mother, for example, is Kira Wisely or
Maybe 10 or
Maya
younger.
Green
Maybe
or
10 or
Maya
younger.
Green,
Yeah.
when you know exactly, come on, these women are nearly 20 and they should have a 10 years old. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I've had problems with that because I'm not 40 yet, but I play over 40 all the time for some reason. And it's I did a Dar Man project with Mare Mulroney where she was my girlfriend, and then I did a vertical where she's supposed to be my niece. It's like,
I spoke with Karen Smolinski, and I think she's 53, and she had to play a role of a great grandmother with 85.
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
In vertical world, I'm considered old. Yeah, so
Yeah, but you're younger than me.
it's
So,
all about the look, I guess. I mean, it's I don't know. I know that Noah Fearnley is 26. He's 10 years younger than
yeah,
me, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, guys like Kiki or Gilmet, they're probably closer to my age, but they're still playing younger.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the same problem also when these guys, these older looking guys are playing this high school stuff. Why don't they switch the storyline to students at the college? Why does it has to be in high school?
Yeah, it's the only high school one I've gotten to do so far was when I was the teacher, and I joked with them saying, "Oh, you finally put me in a position where I am responsible for children's welfare because usually I'm the villain." So, but that was good. I was a nice guy. I was a teacher. I was a physics teacher, and that was fun. That was Kaylin Peloso was the lead.
Cale Peluso, I spoke with her and I asked her how many children she is having in the vertical space. And she said 22.
She's had children. She looks extremely young. Yeah.
She is young. She is 24, 25,
Hmm.
and had so many times. That's also so ridiculous. 6 tablets, quadruplets. Come on, that's so unnatural to get this after one time hooked up. Really?
As long as they have $10 billion, they're
Yeah, no
okay.
pro. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, true. The billions are everything in it. But don't you get sometimes bothered by all these storylines?
I do, but it's they're what's flooding the casting calls right now. It's the stuff that I don't know if I should say more passionate about. Horizontal feature films is what I came out here to do. They're not as plentiful on the casting site, so you kind of have to take what you can get in the beginning and let until you get to the point where you're sought after, then you can turn things down. But
Mm.
I mean, I mean, I've been in that situation with verticals before where it's, oh, they conflict. And then I can say, oh, I'd rather do this one, or I want to do this one, or I want to make it work. But, um, and then you try to make it work. But that happens on big budget stuff and on little budget stuff.
Okay. What is for you a totally no-go? in a vertical script? What did you ever decline a script
I've
because of?
never turned one down because of the subject matter, but to be honest with you, I never get to be what they call one or two on the call sheet. I get to be maybe number three at the highest, like the main villain. So I don't get to be number one or number two. And usually when they offer me the role, I don't get the full script before they offer me.
Okay. Okay, so were you ever in the situation where you thought after the shooting, what the heck was that?
Uh, there was one werewolf one I did where I just saw the footage afterwards and I thought the CGI was just so unnecessary afterwards. It was what's her name? Alexandria Watt. And
Mm-hmm.
she's kind of like the human that gets this wolf power out of nowhere, kind of like Rey in the new Star Wars. She's like the power comes out of nowhere, and I'm the
Okay.
rogue wolf, and she overpowers me and she kills me at the end. Spoiler alert. But they added all this extra like CGI wolf stuff. I thought that was completely unnecessary. It's so distracting. You could have left it as it was, and it still would have been dramatic.
Yeah, okay, okay. So, do you watch your verticals, the finished product?
Only if I don't have to pay for it. I don't think actors should have to pay for their own work. But I mean, the new one that I've been out in, Drama Waves When We Meet Again, I got some good footage from that because it was in the first 10 episodes before the paywall. So I was
Yeah,
able to get some
the
footage.
magic paywall. You know, this paywall and the membership stuff like that, as I said in the beginning, there haven't been so many platforms. But lately, kinda, it feels like every new show drops with a new platform on it. And that's getting more and more expensive to watch verticals because every time you need a new membership for watching it. And for example, a weekly membership for me is round about 24 euros. And if there's only one show on the platform you want to watch, I'm not willing to pay 24 euros for watching one show. No.
I wonder if it's going to go the way of Netflix, where you just pay a monthly thing and you can watch unlimited verticals on that app.
A lot of apps only offer weekly membership or a yearly membership. But you know, the problem is a yearly membership is round about 200 euros.
Mhm.
I
Well,
cannot.
as we've seen with Netflix and Warner Brothers, maybe they'll just gobble each other up. Capitalism at its finest.
I'm hoping that the amount of platform is going down because not every platform can survive. You know, for me, it would be totally fine if there would be, I don't know, 10, 15 platforms where all the verticals are published, because otherwise it's really difficult to get the numbers and the audience to watch it, you know, because if I would pay for, I don't know, I am having on my phone at the moment 52 platforms. If I
Wow.
would pay for every platform a yearly membership, I need a billionaire.
You need
Definitely.
your own billionaire, yes.
I need a billionaire for watching the vertical stuff. But as you
I
said, sometimes, you
um,
know, it's really shitty. For example, Real Shot has the thing with this interactive. Have you ever played in an interactive one?
I think I've been offered it before. I couldn't do it. I was something else, but I know of them where it's like, yeah, pick your journey.
Yeah.
Pick you go
And
this
you
way, you
have
go
to
that.
pay for the pick.
Oh no.
Although you have a membership, you have to
Wow.
pay extra. It's the same with, for example, Dreamy Short. Dreamy Short, you can have a membership, but they have some called exclusive verticals where you have to pay extra to watch them, although you have a membership in the first month, and they
Wow.
are all after a month getting open for everyone with a membership. It's so silly. It's so much making money that's really for the audience. It's getting harder and harder to watch because I think there are lately too many people who want to make money out of it, and they are trying more and more using the same storylines, and they are publishing a lot of new verticals, but with less quality. So for the audience, it's a difficult time at the moment because you have to pay a lot and you get less quality in it.
I think it can be frustrating for the creatives as well, because like you said, there are actors that are in a position where they have the leverage to write and pitch their own things, like Maliski and Alexandria, and I think Casey Esser is producing his own things as well. And it feels like when they try to make something that's not formulaic and different, and like what was the one that you said, Lust and Blood? They
Love and
tried to
Blood.
make
Yeah.
Love and
Yeah.
Blood. They tried to make that one, and it didn't do as well. And it's
Yeah, but
people
I
think they
think I
want
know
different.
why it did do as well. I was surprised that they sold it to Real Short. But on Real Short, the problem is Real Short doesn't promote shows they didn't produce themselves.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Otherwise, platforms like Gwiglu or for example, Campus Rival, the one Adam Sandler Cruz did, and also Eric Gilmet in it, they sold that one to Gwiglu, and there it went very well. But if you are selling to big platforms and the big platforms don't promote it because it's only bought and not produced by themselves, there is no chance that you will get the big numbers if you don't have any big publicity, or you have to do all the marketing stuff on yourself. And I have the feeling at the moment there are only 3 platforms who are willing to take risk for new storylines, and that's Viglu, Candy Jar, and Drama Pops. On Viglu, mostly of the stories are based on book stories. So the storyline is very often totally new and totally different to the classic vertical trope stuff. Sure, they have also maybe some slaps, but not this typical overloaded classical word. And Candy Jar, for example, is the only platform who is willing to take risks for doing more than one part. There are a lot of shows with part 2, part 3, even part 4 sometimes. They are doing more the serious stuff. And Drama Pops, for example, mostly of the shows who were published on Drama Pops are the shows which were shot in Turkey. And they are so good in quality, really so good in the produced quality and the storylines. Every time a new show, they are not publishing so many shows in a week or month like the big ones does. But the quality is definitely outstanding compared to the big ones.
I'd love to work on those. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have ever the chance to work with Viglu, Candy Jar, or Drama Pops, do it. Because every vertical I saw of them were so well produced, really. And a lot of kind of new storylines, which was so fresh and unused, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you are watching a vertical and after 5 episodes, you know exactly how the story will end.
Yeah. I wonder if from a production standpoint, it's more expensive to do projects like that because you have to pay the rights. Say if someone wrote it and it's based off a book, right?
I'm not sure. I don't know how when it's a lot of Viglu shows are shot in Vietnam. I don't know how it is there with the rights based.
Because I have seen some, I have auditioned for some that are like, oh, this is based off of this book. So you can, for context before you audition, you can read this book and see what it's based on. I would imagine if a human wrote it, then you got to pay rights to them, or you should pay rights to them. Whereas with Real Short or the big ones, they just put it in AI and don't have to pay anybody and that kind of thing. But
Yeah. So, I hope, let's say I hope that these platforms like Viglu and Candy Jar and Drama Pops will be in 2026 also at the audience's top 3 because to everyone I spoke on the audience side, everyone is saying Candy Jar, Viglo, and Drama Pops are the best. You can, it doesn't matter to whom you are speaking. And to every director I spoke who shot for Drama Pops or Viglo or Candy Jar, everyone is telling you it was the best thing I ever did. Because, for example, in Istanbul, Danny Farber shot a lot in Istanbul lately for Drama Pops. And he told me, because I asked him what's the difference than shooting in the US. And he told me that the crew is bigger.
Oh,
So you have for this short period of time more crew member so that they can put better quality out of it.
do they take more shooting days as well?
No,
They do it in 7. Wow.
yeah, 7, maximum I think 10, but he told me that there are on set more people, and so there are more people to take care of this stuff which is needed in total. And I think that's the difference. It's a little difference.
Makes
But-
a big difference. Oh, yeah.
But I think Michael Vaccaro told me lately, because I asked him why he's thinking that they are flying all the US actors over to Europe to shoot here. And he said that vertical shooting in LA gets more and more expensive.
Oh, yeah. I've never been on the production side, but I mean, since I started doing them, they've been using a lot of the same houses over and over again. So
Oh
like
yes, you see that in in the verticals when they are going into the house, you're saying, he lives also there. Okay.
yeah, I've shot at the same mansion, I think probably 10 times. This one that has that's like very wooden and it's got a pool in the back and there's a cat there. You don't see the cat on camera, but Captain the cat. If you've talked to other actors, they'll tell you about Captain the cat.
Captain the Cat.
He's gray and he's fuzzy and he's got kind of like a grumpy
I think
face.
I saw him in some BTS. Have you ever shot with kids?
Yes, actually. One of the last ones I did for real short, I think it's called Daddy, I'm Your Lucky Star. I don't know if they've started promoting it yet, but I play the mean uncle to the little girl.
Okay, when you have done, let's say, 50 verticals, how often were you the mean guy?
A lot. I'd say probably over half, I mean, maybe even 3/4. Yeah.
Okay, so is the private Kyle also kind of mean one sometimes because of this lots of mean guys you have to play?
Oh, I must be mean in my personal life if I play it that.
No, I'm just asking, do you have to prepare for these mean roles or is it kind of your natural character sometimes?
I don't think I'm naturally mean. Maybe it's just the thick eyebrows or the dark hair, or I mean, I've actually found that some of the best villains in cinematic history are actually very nice actors. Like Anthony Hopkins, I've heard is very kind, but he's Hannibal Lecter.
Oh yes. I saw this once and I couldn't watch it twice.
I love watching that movie. Silence of the Lambs is great.
No, not for me. No.
Gary
no.
Oldman was a sweet man, but he's played villains so many times. I got to be on set with him for Mank a few years ago. He was a sweet old man. I mean, now maybe back when he was a young man, he wasn't as kind. But
What genre do you prefer to play or like most?
oh, like what kind of films would I like to be in, regardless, vertical, horizontal,
Yeah,
anything?
yeah.
I like drama in general, but I like playing anti-heroes. I mean, it'd be fun to play someone like John McClane, or like in high school, back when I was doing theater, I loved that I got to play John Proctor in The Crucible. I love period projects.
Did you ever do a period vertical?
I've auditioned for the ones that take place in the 30s and 40s. I would love to do a period vertical. I've been telling people all the time, I would love to see a black and white 1940s noir. Would be fun.
Oh, which other period you want to be in? Maybe like a knight in shiny armor one, or
I've auditioned for those as well. I love doing the British accent when I can bust it out every now and again. I've actually used the British accent in what was it? Was it Real Shorts? How to Land a Movie Star? I was the shady publicist of what was his name? Lucas.
Charles Stafford.
Yes, he was my client and I was his publicist. Yes,
I haven't seen this vertical, but I know that Luke Charles Stafford was the main lead in it.
that was a lot of fun. I liked that one, and he wasn't written to be British, but I thought, why not make him more posh and more pompous?
I heard that the costumes were kind of weirdo sometimes in this vertical.
They were fun. I mean, he showed up to an event shirtless, like with a jacket and shirtless, and hey, I guess Chalamet made that popular.
Yeah, maybe. What what don't you like on a vertical set? Don't you like this wine spills or this when you get bottles broken over your head or what's kind of vertical part you normally don't need to do?
Probably at the top of that list for me would be the sexual assaults. Yeah, I don't think we need anywhere near the amount or any of
Yeah.
those. I mean, you can use your words. You can threaten someone with like, "I will do this." You don't have to actually show a sexual assault. I'm fine with the broken bottle because I love stunts.
Do you all your stunts by yourself?
Yeah, I've never been on a vertical set where there's been a double.
Okay.
The only time I've heard there being a double is when there's an actor that is upwards of 60 in real life, and it's like, okay, if she's gonna get pushed down the stairs, let's get someone in a wig and
So
do
when
that.
you're
But
always the mean guy, how often did you kidnap someone?
uh, probably lost count.
Okay, so nearly every
I would say
time or
at
what?
least I'd say at least 10, probably at least 10 times. Yeah.
Only
I mean, they're mostly
as a
villains.
villain
I
one,
would say three
only
quarters of it
10.
villains. I don't always kidnap, but a
Okay.
good amount I kidnap.
No, I'm just asking if you have a special kidnap technique right now.
I don't I when they tie them up, it's always loose and they can get out very easily. So
Ah, okay, so you're not perfect in it, actually.
no, I did one where I was a skeezy guy that ended up kidnapping the leading lady, and I was coming back from doing a horizontal feature film, and we were doing like a knockoff of Home Alone, this movie. So I looked like Marv. I had these mutton chops and a mustache, long hair. So I was very goofy looking, and it worked for this skeezy guy that was paid to kidnap this girl. And
So how was it working with the kids on set?
it's actually been, I think I've worked with kids. Oh, Drama Waves When We Meet Again. There was a little girl I was the useless assistant. And my boss, it was his daughter that he didn't know was his daughter, of course. And then he finds out at the end it's his daughter.
When we meet again, was it with Eric Lutz
Yes.
and Toby Pruitt?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw this one last week, I think.
I was the assistant in the first 10 episodes. There you go. Well, I mean, I'm throughout the whole thing, but
No, I think I watched it completely because I recorded with Toby Pruitt and he told me that I think 2 days after that the show dropped and he said, "Yeah, look, that's the one. I made it the first time on the poster." So yeah, I watched this one exactly.
yeah,
Some
I was mean
sometimes
to the little girl in the beginning, and then I liked her at the end.
can you sleep good at night?
Traumatizing these children. I try not to traumatize them. I try to talk to them beforehand and see that I'm a nice guy.
Are
They're
you
usually
sure
okay.
Santa Claus will bring you something when
gonna
you're
bring me
always the
coffee.
mean one?
I'm just playing. But in on Daddy, I'm Your Lucky Star, I'm a really bad uncle. I'm a really, really bad uncle.
Tell me something about your good guy roles, please.
Uh, they'd have to be outside of the vertical space. I did one recently where I was a Marine. There was a horizontal feature film that we shot in Thailand, and it took place during the Vietnam War. So I got to be a Marine in that. It was still a dark drama, but I was a good guy trying to do well.
In Thailand. Wow.
Mm.
Did they ever shoot this horizontal, which was declined because of the COVID pandemic?
They did finish it in 2021, but they didn't bring a lot of us back. I mean, if you want to talk to Kiki about it or Dallas Schaefer, they were there too. They ended up finishing it, I think, in 21, but I don't know if they brought back because they flew about 70 of us from LA to
Mm-hmm.
China. They probably got guys from Australia or something, but
Okay.
the focus was on the Korean side of it.
Okay.
It was like showing them as the good guys that were fighting against the evil American regime. So
Ah, okay, okay. So what do you prefer? More the horizontal stuff with less of time stress, or more the vertical stuff because you can do more in this amount of time?
I prefer horizontal feature films if I can. You can take your time, you can make creative choices. With the verticals, it's very like a conveyor belt. It's very quick, and when they call it content, it just I want to make it art. It just it feels like content, and it feels like just churning out. I don't want to call it slop, but it feels like yeah. I don't want to just churn out junk food for people.
What do you think will change in the vertical space in 2026?
Hopefully, more union jobs, so that way, like more higher quality, even higher quality actors can come in. And I mean, I do appreciate that with the vertical space, it allows actors that maybe wouldn't have gotten a chance to be stars in things. I mean, I don't know what Noah Fearnley, for example, I don't know how his social media was before he started starring in verticals, but I'm
Mm,
sure it shot up tremendously from starring in the verticals. So a lot of these leads have gotten to parlay their social media status from the verticals and can now have leverage to push themselves or have the reps push them for more horizontal mainstream stuff.
yeah, yeah, true. Okay, so at the end of every episode, I'm asking a 5 question quickie. And I want to know from you first, what's your favorite dish?
Hmm. I do like
Asian
Italian.
one?
I like
Oh, Italian
Italian.
one. Okay, I
I,
thought
I
it's
like chicken
Asian
parm.
one when you have been so many times in Thailand and China and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I like what the Chinese food in America is like fake Chinese, they say. It's not
Okay,
real
okay.
Chinese food. But
But
I
the
like orange
Italian
chicken.
one,
I like chicken parm.
is that not also a fake Italian one in the US?
Probably. Chicken parmesan. I don't know if that's an American invention, but they
Okay.
they pass it off as Italian.
Ah, okay. No, because when I spoke to Roberta Sparta, she told, and I asked her, can you get good Italian food in LA? And she said, I have every time to make my pasta by myself because the so-called Italian restaurants in LA aren't so good. So, yeah, you have to come over to Italy for a vertical shooting because the food in Italy is so
I loved it. I haven't been there in let's see, probably 15 years. I was in Rome for a study abroad in college, and we stayed in Rome. I Other people went on excursions and holidays on the weekend. I That's my biggest regret when I was there. I didn't go to Florence or Milan, or I should have done that. But yeah, the food in Italy was phenomenal. And anyone who's working in Italy, please take me.
And the gelato. Oh, ice cream. Oh,
Yeah.
holy. Yeah, from here, I only have to drive 5 hours with the car, and then I'm in Milan. So,
Wow.
and I lived in Milan for 6 months for working. And Everyday pizza, pasta, e gelato. Oh, holy moly. And here in Germany, you have really great Italian restaurants because a lot of the Italian people came over as workers in the early 40s, 50s, 60s. So we have here a lot of Italian population also, and nearly every of them opened, the family opened an Italian restaurant. So you can get here in Germany really great Italian food. And I love that. I love this kind of food, really.
I'd love to go to Germany as well. I've never been.
Never been?
I'd love to go.
Okay, I see. So it's getting time for you in 2026 to come over to Europe to shoot verticals here. I
Yes.
see. I see. Yeah, we will see how it will go here in Germany with the vertical stuff. But if they are trying to do it with influencers from the beginning, I'm not sure if they ever can increase a good market when they are dumping it right already with less quality. I'm
Well,
not
are they
sure.
going to be in German or are they going to be in English?
I think it wasn't in the mentioned in the casting call. I think they will do it in German
Hmm.
with maybe English subtitles. But I'm not sure. I will have an eye on it
Well, if
because
that's the case, I have a roommate that speaks German. She'd be great for it. She's been working on the vertical, so get her in there.
yeah, we will see. I'm kind of skeptic at the moment because of this first casting calls I saw. We will see. Do you have a comfort movie? A movie you watched over and over again?
No matter where it is, when I turn on the television and it's just playing randomly, I will watch. There's a few. I feel that way about Shawshank Redemption. I feel that way about Back to the Future. I feel that way about Godfather.
Back to the Future. Great ones. That would be also nice ones for verticals. Back to the Future style.
There's been some time travel ones.
Yeah, it's all with the reborn stuff, but
Well, the one I worked with Kaylin on, she starts it in the 40s, I think, and then she just magically transports to 2025, and she looks exactly like him. So
yeah, we'll see. What's your favorite music? What kind of music do you like?
I'm big into classic rock, which I guess that's always shifting depending on how old you get. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers is considered classic rock now, which is terrible. But uh, to me, growing up, classic rock was Guns N' Roses.
Have you seen them lately?
Guns N' Roses, I saw them in 2016, and they sounded pretty good for 50 something. They
The
were
reason
good when I heard them, and maybe I'm also influenced because I've been such a fan for so long. But I don't know. I heard like someone live record Bob Dylan within the last
Mhm.
10 years, and it sounded terrible. And he's
Yeah,
almost the
not
80s
everyone can perform live really good.
forever.
Yeah. If do you have any playlist for getting in character? Because I spoke to some actors, they told me I have different kind of playlist for every time I have to do different characters. I'm listening to different playlists to get in the
I
mood.
haven't been using music, but I guess
Okay.
I haven't needed. I can just become dastardly on my own without music. But
Okay. No, because I was so what playlist? Yeah, I have some playlists to get in the mood for the character. That's
I've
why
worked
I'm
with actors like that have needed it before. Yeah,
weirdo. Huh.
everyone has
Um,
their own process.
yeah, totally fine. I think it's the same with memorizing lines. I heard so many different tricks and tips of memorizing lines. I think it's the same with the music. Um, what or let's say okay, you have done more than 50. What's the top three of your verticals which new audience definitely should have watched?
My favorite is Short Max's Alpha's Revenge, Wolf King and his Human Luna. To piggyback off Toby, I think that's one of the few I'm on the poster. That's why I like that reference. Um, I I also like after divorce, I enter my cougar era because that was probably the first time I was like top four in the call sheet. I
Mm-hmm.
was I was the dastardly husband of the female lead, and that's good short, I want to say. And then my third, um, I like Drama Waves When We Meet Again. It was pretty good. I'm
Yeah,
the
that was
use
a really nice one. No, that was a really good one. It
the
was it was with classic trope line, but it was not so full of this classic
Yeah, I mean, I liked
tropes.
that. I mean, I consider myself a good guy in that. Even though I'm mean to the little girl in the beginning, I'm still like the assistant of the good guy. And I also like the one that's coming out soon. Daddy, I'm your lucky star. For real short, Richard Sherrod.
Sarah, yeah,
He's the lead of that.
I
He's
saw the
become the
BTS.
that's become his thing. He only does dad roles, I think now.
Yeah. Isn't he lately? I saw some BTS of him lately that his son was also shooting with him.
In that one, yep.
Was it that one? Ah,
Yep,
okay.
his son's in that one, and he plays his son in that one.
Yeah.
Um, and that was actually the one where I was the Elvis impersonator, was with Richard.
The Elvis impersonator. Okay. So, last question. Which genre you wanna see maybe new or more in 2026 in verticals?
More period pieces would be great. Like I said, I'd love to see a Casablanca, black and white noir, even though that's very niche. I mean, there's so many different kinds of sets. I can only speak to LA because I've never shot in even other American cities. I haven't shot in New York or Atlanta, or I guess in Texas they're even doing them now, but I haven't shot in other countries yet. But there's so many different kinds of sets in LA. I'd love to see one set in space, like a sci-fi one would be
Oh yeah,
great.
sci-fi one.
Because there's spaceship sets and things, and a western would be fun, like a period western would be
I'm
fun.
totally fan of Western one, the classic one with saloons, sheriff, lassos, duels, all the yeehaw stuff and
We have
horses.
so many sets like that in LA. Why not?
Really?
Mhm.
I would be in for a Western one. But it has to be the classic one, you know, with all the saloon stuff and so.
And you don't need slaps. You have guns. You have guns and
There
horses.
makes the violent sense. You know?
Mhm.
You have
There can be a
thieves.
shootout at noon, at high noon.
Yeah. That would be great. Yeah. That kind of verticals I would love to see. You know, with the thieves, with the bad guys, with the good guys, maybe with some romance. I don't know. Doesn't
Cowboys and
matter.
bandits, and one of the leads can be a saloon girl, so she's maybe
Yeah.
a prostitute, maybe not. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But that would be so great. Oh yes, I'm hoping for that. But do you see any chance for that?
I'm not on the production side. I think what's happening a lot too is they're making so much money, and I don't know financially what's going on behind the scenes, but it seems like they aren't like just spend a little bit more money on the wardrobe or on if it's a 1940s things, get a car from that era.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
put a little bit more money there instead of the pay discrepancy between like the lead and the day players, and then maybe put more money towards the wardrobe department so someone has assistants if you have all these great costumes and things. And
Yeah.
I feel like they cut corners to the detriment of other departments. And I'm speaking that's as an actor. I'm fine
Hmm.
taking less money up front. I'm not making tens of thousands of dollars or anything a day on these things, but some of these leads are making high
Yeah.
thousands a
Yeah.
day on these things. Why don't you take some of that money and put it to the other departments?
Yeah, there's I think a little bit more room to improve, but for me, I think verticals are still at the beginning, although they are running 2 years now. But I think there is more and much potential left for Involve. So let's hope that 2026 will bring some great, maybe new things to the vertical space, and maybe you get some good lead. Do you want to play a good lead one or more a bad lead one?
I would love to play a good lead or a bad lead. I mean, I think I brought up Die Hard before, John McClane. Something like that would be fun as as a vertical.
Okay, so I hope you get something like this, and I say thank you very much for your time, Kyle. It was really nice and a pleasure talking to you.
Thank
And
you. You
I
as well,
wish
Michaela.
you all the best for the new vertical year, let's say.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
This is a wrap on this episode, and I hope you tune in again.